Hi, welcome to the small shed. This Saturday we're off to Worcester to Shedfest again. See you in a minute. Now, I don't normally like to do repeat videos, if you like, in that it gets a bit boring if you see the same thing time and time again. So when I went to Shedfest about 3 years ago now, before the pandemic, I had a great day and took some video and put a video up about it. And it was the first time we've met again since then, other than virtually. They had one last year that was an online event, but we've not actually all got together and met other people and other shedders before for the last, 3 years. And I wasn't going to do a video. I took the camera along because I generally have it with me anyway, a little GoPro. And in all honesty, it was a bit rubbish to as a meeting because they hadn't got much going on there. When we went before, there were pole lathe turners and people doing routing and all sorts of things. And so I was a bit disappointed in that the hall was relatively empty where main people were circulating. However, there are sort of three things that I've thought were worthy of mention. Firstly, I've got a sticker to put on the sticker wall, which I haven't done anything with or put a sticker on for probably about 3.5 years, 4 years now. So that is quite a significant point, and as you'll see, it's quite a significant sticker. But the thing that was different this year was that instead of having, they have a series of seminars. There are 6 things going on, 3 in the morning, 3 in the afternoon, and you can pick any one of them to go to, and they're normally things like how to get funding for sheds and how to retain supervising staff type things, all this sort of stuff to do with the mechanics of running the shed. This year they had 2 seminars that were of interest, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, that were a bit different. In the morning we had Peter Sefton, who's got a furniture school relatively close to me, and I have looked at courses there once or twice, who was going through the Scary Sharp sharpening system. And this is something I'd seen on Crimson Guitar's website when he was demonstrating it some while ago. But it was interesting to see it up close and personal, and the fact that he was using essentially virtually all the same things that I use, only I use it with diamond stones, and this system is using what are essentially sandpapers, in inverted commas. They're abrasive papers going down to 8,000 grit almost. So that was interesting in that I sort of mentally picked up on that one and may well switch over from the diamond stones, having seen it. It was quite instructive and I learnt quite a lot from that. In the afternoon there was a young lady there who was, I think she's actually employed by Axminster, but she got taken on by them as a demonstrator, making very small items on the lathe, things like earrings and that sparked something that was of interest to me, because I've not really used the lathe again in 4 years or more. I haven't quite got wood turning, I'm afraid. But what was interesting about this was it was very, very small, fine detailing stuff, and it was far closer to my model making side than the wood turning, and you certainly wouldn't get left with a house full of great big lumps of bowls or anything if you started doing that. So it's an avenue I might just veer off down one of the days in the future. And she gave a good, concise sort of explanation of what she was doing and what sort of tools you needed. And what surprised me was that you needed no different a lathe than you get for anything else. It's only the tools that are smaller, which means that there's no huge cost involvement. So that was all that. And I was, as I say, I took video that you've seen as I've been rambling on. But then I happened to catch up with Chris Fisher, who is, for those of you that don't know, he's known as the Blind Woodturner. He's a guy, you'll see his story in a minute, but he essentially went blind in his, I don't know, probably late 30s, I don't know, early 40s, I'm not really sure, in a very short space of time. And he has become a patron of men's sheds because of his struggle, if you like, and how he's got through that. He's become essentially an inspiration to everybody, I think. And he was talking for about, I don't know, 7 or 8 minutes, and I recorded it, and it just hit so many resonant chords that I thought it was well worth showing. Nothing to do with Shedfest, nothing to do with anything else other than showing how somebody can deal with adversity and turn it into something which is absolutely brilliant. He's gone from being essentially a car worker, car panel beater or bodywork man, through to doing wood turning now on commissions that keep him, you know, in business. He is making a living out of it despite all the adversities. So I just thought it was worth watching this and hopefully getting as much from it as I got from it. So we'll have a quick look at Chris and see what his sort of story is and what his motivation is and what he's doing for men's sheds.
Vibration.
Yeah, it's a mixture of everything really. It's what I'm feeling through the tool, like riding a motorcycle. It's like what I can feel through the tool, listening, the harmonics, you know, the sound will be changing as work's getting thinner, you know, the sound will change if it's unstable, if it's got an inclusion deep down that I can't see, you know, I'll be listening out for things like that. But you know, this is just the roughing out phase at the minute. But yeah, it's very, very dry, quite sturdy, yeah, piece of oak. Probably a bit too dry really, but yeah, we'll get it there, we'll get it knocked into shape. So I'm just laying out the rough shape, and then it's all going to be coloured, and then it'll be textured and gilt, so it'll look like a medieval bowl. I've just done one that's in the gallery called Agincourt. So if so that's the virgin. I'm not going to do the band underneath because I'm not got time. Yeah, but it's that effect I'm going for. So that was my homage to 1415. So that's for sale in the gallery now. So that's only a 7-inch bowl. But that's up for 600 quid in the gallery. I've done
Say that.
But yeah, a couple of pieces I've done have sold for £1,000 in the gallery. Well, I am a full-time professional turner. Yeah. Hence the registered professional turner. And I'm the first blind person to pass that exam, and the only blind person. If you didn't know, I'm the patron of this charity. So yeah. Oh yeah. The blind woodturner. So I've been totally blind 13 years. I went totally blind in 4 weeks. And I've been turning 8 years, so self-taught after going blind. And I'm just about to start filming my 3rd episode for the BBC show Money for Nothing. So I'm the woodturner for that show now. So my episodes start coming out this autumn. So you'll be able to check that out and see what I've been.
Was you woodturning before, Chris?
No, I was an engineer and automotive work. When I left school I was a crankshaft engineer, but big marine crankshafts. Yeah, and then after that engineering based work, and then before going blind I'd worked for many years doing bodywork for a BMW dealership in Manchester.
So a lot of that was feel as well then, was it?
Yeah. So I understand colours and palette. My late father was an engineer and a great artist. My brother's an architect, but also a great artist as well. He was an artist before he was an architect. So it's sort of like in the family.
I'm just wondering what made you actually, pick
Take
up a
up
chisel?
woodturn.
Yeah.
I wanted a vampire steak for Halloween. So,
As good a reason as any.
because I love Halloween, always have. You might be able to tell them a bit that way inclined. So, I wanted a good Halloween prop for Halloween, and I didn't just want to get a stick and whittle a point on it. I thought I could do better than that with my background. So I listened to YouTube for 600 hours. So I treated YouTube as like college and sat there 5-6 hours every day, assimilated all this information on wood turning tools and techniques, machinery, equipment, safety, bought a lathe, taught myself. Just by touch. So there you go. And obviously everything I do, obviously it's to pay the bills and earn a living, but the core message has always been to inspire and motivate, and because of men's sheds, let people that are going through anxiety, depression, bereavement, loneliness, that this is great therapy. When I'm working at the lathe, nothing else matters, and you're not thinking about anything else.
You've got to concentrate.
Yeah, even if you're sighted, you're in the zone, aren't you? And let's say a couple of you guys are more into your flat work or metal work. If you're forging or welding, whatever you're doing.
It's absorbing.
Yeah, you're totally absorbed. You're in the moment.
You don't feel time, just you're there doing.
No, and when you're coming in for your dinner 5 minutes, an hour later.
That's right. Yeah. Then you get a bollock in there.
Yeah, and then you're going like this.
Don't get
So, but
which men's shed are you affiliated with?
all of them, I'm the patron.
All of them everywhere. You're not a member of any of them?
No. Because of my story and what I've done and achieved, I was asked to be the patron of the charity. So I was patron. And I've been to the sheds, and I've done TV work, and I'll be speaking at the dinner tonight. But obviously, as patron, it's more as an inspirational. I'm not a celebrity, all right, I'm on telling things, but an inspirational, well-known in the world of wood turning. I'm very well known,
Right.
So I'm supported by Axminster and Tormek and King Arthur's Tools. Good friends with Nick Agar, who's the world's greatest wood turning artist, and, so I'm more of a well-known inspirational figurehead for the charity, but because I went through 5 years of crippling anxiety after going blind and nearly committing suicide, there's that tie-in as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I defy anyone, not to feel a bit squirrely after going blind as quick as I did.
A degree of salvation.
It's been changing, and it's all about if you are struggling and going through some sketchy stuff, it's not the end. It might just mean the start of a different path, but it needn't be the end. And if you're part of a shed, you can go, you can hang out, make friends, you can start to confide. You'll say to your mate at the shed, "You all right, Bob? You're a bit quiet today," and he'll say, "Well, hopefully," he'll say, "Well, I'm not doing too great at the minute. That Doris passed a fortnight ago, and right, well, let's have a chat." And it's all about.
It'll take a time for them to open out, but eventually they will.
Yeah, they will. They will. I'll second that.
You don't want to just feel to get noticed As you know. As I know.
Yeah.
Anyway, nice to meet you, Chris.
Thank you guys. Keep on turning. Have a wonderful day. And thanks for
Inspirational.
thank you. Well, remember that each and every one of you is amazing as well. You get that, don't you? Everyone's amazing. You don't have to be.
Something to give.
You don't have to be a blind Mancunian slacker to be amazing. You're all amazing. You'd never forget that.
So there we are. New sticker to go onto the sticker wall is the Blind Woodturner, and I hope it's something that will stay there and give me a little bit of inspiration, and those times when I don't feel like doing anything because I'm a bit lost your mojo or whatever, whenever you've got personal problems, it's just worth looking at something like that and thinking, well, you know what, that's nothing compared to some people and they get over it all right. So I hope it was of interest. Look forward to seeing you next week. We'll try and do something different. Look forward to seeing you then. Bye.